Hey, I'm anxious. I want to talk about stuff. If you've been within the Sonic fandom over the last few years, especially in regards to fan works, there's no doubt you've heard of Sonic.EXE. Sonic.EXE used to be infamous as one of the worst creepypastas ever written. The point of it being ostracized by the creepypasta community back in 2014, moved to troll pasta due to its quality and the writer's refusal to take criticism for their work. In most other fandoms, that'd be it. Just a bad story put to the side and forgotten. But the Sonic and creepypasta community are known for seeing potential in something, latching their teeth into it, and never letting go. And ever since then, we've seen countless versions of Sonic.EXE created and expanded upon, even creating entire worlds of lore regarding its characters and even how they interact with Sonic's canon. From Sonic.EYX to Lord.EXE, there have been countless reimaginings of the concept and its mythos. But I would argue one stands out as one of the most unique, interesting, and frankly scary renditions of the concept of a scary Sonic, and that character is No More Innocence. No More Innocence is a character created by Dummy_Dummy, an artist on Newgrounds and Twitter who has recently been moving away from Sonic horror and leaning more towards Mario horror. The art is great, and they made a character I liked enough to do an entire video essay about, so please be sure to give them some support. Although in my research I couldn't find the origins of the character exactly, I know he was initially created / gained popularity around April 2022. During this time they draw art and write lore expanding the character. No More Innocence is a Japanese yokai, a mischievous spirit who has the ability to appear as a human. This human, who would later go on to be named Makoto, would appear as a member of Sega's development team and offer people, specifically parents, a copy of Sonic 2 shortly before the game had officially released. This bootleg copy of Sonic 2 would house No More Innocence's spirit, where he would target and feed off the child's despair and fear and making them depend on the game, effectively destroying any innocence they have, hence the name. About a month after he was created, a YouTube account going by the name El Pepe would go on to create an analog horror series about him, expanding on his lore. However, as of the time of making this video, all but one video has been deleted. However, within the description of that video, we do get a short story about that character. Around a week after the release of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in Japan, there were different reports surrounding nameless Sega Genesis cartridges containing mediocre imitations of the game, which were found to be advertised as nothing but the new Sonic the Hedgehog experience. These reports all tended to focus on the many ailments children in possession of these copies were showing, such as intense headaches, decreasing eyesight, and nausea, with a couple of these cases also mentioning their kids not being able to properly walk or keep themselves standing up to 1 to 2 weeks after playing the copy. While the symptoms and their intensity seem to vary a lot, what's been consistent is how much the victims insist on being completely fine being allowed to continue interacting with the bootleg. We haven't found any coherent explanation as to why this keeps happening. These reports have strangely gone under the radar until being rediscovered recently. Any proper studies on said reports haven't made any progress due to the cases similar to these beginning to appear in America. There are 10 confirmed cases to be precise. Most of the investigators and other lawmen who have tried to intervene have experienced trouble sleeping and severe paranoia, making this case extremely intimidating. The number of confirmed cases has had almost no increase, but attempts at contacting 911 are growing excessively. Those calls are also proving unhelpful, however, as they are all distorted in some way. Some are rendered incomprehensible due to a horrible noise resembling static, while others are obscured by what seems to be a third voice in the call, which talks over the other caller as they try to speak. However, for quite some time there was a police department in Scottsdale, Arizona who were making steady progress finding the roots of the case, having one of the officer's kids suffering from the bootleg's effects. As all the attention was starting to be drifted towards the group in Scottsdale, more and more of the other cases were starting to be less prominent, diving into obscurity as if they were being forgotten. With the information on every case being swept under the rug like this, it was ruthless for the teams at Scottsdale to keep following this tactic, and it proved not to be rewarding once the case seemingly stopped, with not a single update from the team after. It's speculated that it ended once the lead man father of the ill kid, quit his position after running into a dead end, being received with nothing but his child in a hospital bed. With all of this, it is fascinating how these series of tragedies have apparently lost steam, with any of the more recent reports being leftovers from previous events. However, strange activities surrounding Sega have been noticed, as there's been posters hung up near the area claiming there's an individual lying about their position in the company, stating that this isn't a real person. We wouldn't see any major projects involving No More Innocence again until 2 years after its creation in April 2024, where a mod for the rhythm game Friday Night Funkin' featured the character in the song Fake Baby, where the plot was that he had kidnapped and the infant daughter of the game's main antagonist, Daddy Dearest, and the two rap battled for him to get his daughter back. Due to the popularity of this mod, specifically due to another certain doppelganger, No More Innocence was skyrocketed in popularity to the point we're at now, where he sits alongside the other modern takes of Sonic.EXE as one of the more popular and unique takes on the character. Now, with all of that being said, why do I like this character so much that I dedicated an entire video of me explaining my love of him? Well, the answer's simple. He's unique. If we're talking about his design, allow me to show you the design of other Sonic.EXE variants. Lord.EXE, Sonic.EYX, and Needle Mouse. He immediately stands out amongst the other designs of Sonic.EXE variants because of his palette, his difference in build, and the horror factor of his face being a different route compared to the others. Combine this with Dummy's art style of harsh, sketchy lines, and you immediately have a character that catches your eye and makes you want to know more about them. The secondary factor is within stories surrounding this character. Normally within the typical Sonic.EXE stories, the protagonist/victim is a young adult attempting to relive their childhood nostalgia by playing a pirated copy of Sonic that is corrupted or cursed. However, within the confines of this story, it's a game handoff to parents who, within stories regarding the character, are frequently depicted as neglectful or abusive by someone who actively appears as a Sega representative. This alone immediately sets them apart, both with the age difference between the victims and the circumstance of the games they received. With the contemporary Sonic.EXE stories, although unintentionally entering the horrors, the protagonists are almost always actively seeking out the game to play. Within No More Innocence stories, though, it's a gift handed to a child who likely doesn't have any other way of escaping the pain they find themselves in. And that makes all the difference. No More Innocence directly makes the child sick playing the game, but because they have no other form of escaping the situation, and because of the dependency that is created to ward off the sickness's effects, they are stuck playing the game and being abused by not just their parents now, but also this entity that is sapping away at their very innocence. It even goes as far as manipulating his victims into playing more with him, as seen with this art here. But something else to consider is the horror isn't just from the perspective of the child, but also the parent. After all, not every family targeted by No More Innocence has evil parents. Neglectful maybe, but not evil. There's plenty of art depicting the idea of a parent realizing what they've done, that they've given a monster to their child, and No More Innocence is completely aware of this. And he puts the sole blame on the parent, not himself. Because yes, he is a monster, but he wouldn't be here destroying their child's life if perhaps they had chosen to spend more time with them, to love them, or perhaps not just be so naive and trustworthy of a random man in a suit. In his eyes, he's not the one at fault. They are. And that immediately creates such an interesting dichotomy in comparison to other .EXEs, who are more often than not either emotionless monsters or just crazy evil gods. He isn't a god nor emotionless, he's a manipulative bastard who feeds off the innocence of children, and that makes him far more interesting of a concept than most .EXEs or most video game creepypastas period. No More Innocence is a testament of what happens when you think outside the box when tackling a concept that many others have attempted before you. going against the grain with the design, exploring more so the effects of child neglect through the character and his stories rather than just exploring a scary copy of Sonic, and having him be one of the few .EXEs with a fully established personality that makes him so confidently evil that you can't help but be enamored. Genuinely, this is one of my favorite creepypasta characters, period, and I wish he was more popular. Thank you, Dummy, for creating this character. Thank you to the Sonic and creepypasta communities for expanding this character, as well as the Friday Night Funkin' communities for creating some mods involving this character and making him popular. And thank you for watching my video. Drink some water, do the dishes, and don't take video games from weirdos in suits. Unless you want to end up like this guy.